Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the invitation. Indeed, I planned to be with you today, but life is full of circumstances, and thank you very much for understanding my circumstances. Anyway, I did not have the privilege of listening to the previous discussions, but I assume that you were discussing the multipolar world, which is emerging after 500 years of domination of what we call the collective West, which domination was based on quite diverse history, including ruthless exploitation of peoples and territories of other countries. In any case, on the basis of this 500 years, the United States and its allies, they built the model of globalization, which they believed would serve them well to continue to be number one in economy, in military exercises, in culture, politics, and so on and so forth. And they thought that they would be using this globalization scheme to continue their domination. However, other countries, using exactly the principles and instruments of the Western globalization, managed to beat the West on its own turf, building the economies on the basis of national sovereignty, on the basis of balance of interests with other countries. And as this process continued, the new centers of economic growth, of financial power, and of political influence started to emerge. And we see this process very much underway, which is clearly changing the balance of power in the world, and not to the West liking. And in order to suppress this kind of development, to suppress any dissent, our Western colleagues decided to sacrifice all the principles of globalization which they have been selling to everybody for decades and decades, including free market, fair competition, inviolability of property, presumption of innocence. All this was sacrificed for the sake of rules-based world order. The rules were never published, were never even announced by anyone to anyone, and they are being applied depending on what exactly the West needs at a particular moment of modern history. This is especially seen in various conflicts which the West ignites all over the world. Anything goes to keep the hegemony, intervention in domestic affairs, sanctions against all the principles of fair competition, regime change, and of course direct military interventions like we have seen in Yugoslavia, in Iraq, in Libya, Syria, and elsewhere. By the way, the analysis of all these events raises a question: is there a single place where the United States intervened with military force, where life has become better? I think you know the answer. Ruined statehood, human tragedies, and very, very bleak prospects for the future of the countries where the Americans and NATO interfered. Ukraine, of course, is another example. By the way, even allies of the United States are not spared when the Americans want to do something to keep their hegemonic position. They made sure that European Union bears the brunt of the adventure against Ukraine, economically, especially from the point of view of cheap energy. Former cheap Russian energy is being replaced by expensive American liquefied natural gas, and examples of deindustrialization of Germany and other European countries are plentiful. I would not dwell upon them. My point is that we have to recognize the objective course of history, which is the evolution of a multipolar world. We have to accept that new organizations, new formats, new structures like BRICS, like Shanghai Cooperation Organization, ASEAN, African Union, and many sub-regional organizations in Africa, CELAC and sub-regional groups in Latin America, they are going to be the BRICS, small letters, the BRICS of the new polycentric world. This must be recognized as an objective course of history, as I said, and this must be respected. Respect is something which we actually miss when we analyze the modern Western diplomacy, but this is for the West to draw conclusions. I think I stop here.